Alrighty. If fixing one call could fix everything for your reps, would you fix it? Show of hands. Would you fix it? Cool. Most of you, the people that didn't raise your hand, I think you're getting laid off via text message tomorrow. I'm going to tell you a little story about how I'm actually doing that right now at Boomi. But before I get into it, I want to set the scene. I became the enablement business partner for our customer success organization about 6 months ago. Our customer success organization has never had formal enablement in the entire history of Boomi. No pressure. So I had to build, and I had to build fast. And I didn't know anything about their team or what they were up to. And I have a little experience as a CSM, so I thought to myself, CSMs, customer conversations, there's got to be something in there. So of course, I went to our CI tool. Disclaimer, I did not know that Gong was the sponsor for RevFest. They are not paying me to say this, but this is a Gong story, at least partially. So before I dive into what I actually did, I do want to remind all of us of something we know to be true. Conversation intelligence was supposed to set us all free from having to do any work in go-to-market. We were just going to have it listen to all our stuff, tell us what was wrong, and call it a day, right? Not true. What ended up happening is managers started coaching call by call, rep by rep, trying to look at scorecards, but probably never seeing patterns maybe within their own team, much less the entire org. Meanwhile, our dear friends in RevOps, all of you, would look at the dashboards, see the dips, complain that no one was filling out their medpic fields, and that's why things were down. But that's all lagging indicators, right? And then all of us fun kids in enablement were mostly getting yelled at by really loud managers who had one problem from one call that they listened to from one rep, and we'd build a training around that, ship it, and check the box. Because scaling your conversation intelligence data is a lot harder than it looks, right? So with that in mind, I decided to give myself a little mission. Look at the calls that are happening across our team. Figure out what they are, decide which one I might want to attack first. And at Boomi, we do something called an executive business review with our customers. 2 to 4 times a year, we talk to them about their ROI, their usage of the platform, how they can continue to grow with us. And I started asking around a little bit, and I got really scared, because it turns out that some of our CSMs were not very good at it. Their skills were all over the board, and we were even getting customer escalations coming out of what was supposed to be like the moment of pride. Boomi's great, we're saving you all this money, buy some more. And they were like, I don't believe any of your data, and you don't even know what you're talking about, and by the way, we have a support ticket that's been open for 6 months. Not good, but I knew I was onto something. So, thinking about that executive business review, I made up a plan. First, I'm going to inspect what the heck is going on across all of our EBRs, not just what I'm hearing from the managers. Second, I'm going to identify the patterns and hopefully some things that I can start to fix, and then I'm going to make a plan and I'm going to fix it. So that's exactly what I did. And thank God for Gong and their cool tool called the Agent Studio. Fun fact, Boomi also has a tool called Agent Studio, so see you guys in court. We're a little bigger too. So inside of Agent Studio, there's something called AI Builder. Somebody actually built something for enablers. It was magical. I had the AI Builder look at 100 EBR calls from the past few months. And of course, I had to prompt it with something important. This is the part where you get out your phone. I'm going to show you my prompt. Oh my God, yes. But more importantly, there will be a QR code on the screen that will take you to a Notion page that will show you exactly the prompt and how to do this, even if you don't have Gong and all the Ferrari parts of the tech stack. So, ta-da, there is the prompt and the QR code. And I want to call out some very specific things about the way that I made this prompt. I did use ChatGPT before I met my boyfriend Claude. It's a long story, but anyway. I asked it to identify patterns and recurring moments across all of these calls. I also asked it to flag customer concerns and product and technical gaps, because I'd heard some whispers that that might be something we need to work on as well. And what I got back was a 15-page report. Amazing. That led me to that led me to my identify step. And thank God, again, Gong did most of this for me. But there were some surprises in there. For example, 60% of our EBR calls had customers surfacing concerns or confusion about pricing. None of our managers knew that was going on. I hadn't been hearing that. I hadn't caught it on the calls I had a chance to listen to. And it turned out 60% of those EBRs had a pattern we had no idea existed. The other thing that it was able to surface for me was 7 coachable skill gaps, really specific ones. And this was my aha moment. I looked at this list and I thought, if I can fix these 7 skills, not only are our EBR calls gonna be better, we're gonna have the best damn CSMs on the planet. So I did that, we're done, and that's it. Just kidding. I had to do a little work. This is the human in the loop part of the process. I built a rubric along with, actually, of all people in the world, my HR business partner for CS. And we decided that we were gonna work on these 7 skills for the entire year as the framework for enablement. So, act time. I built a program. Not just one program, but I built a year-long program based on these 7 skills, again, with the idea, we fix the EBR, we fix our CSMs, we win. What does that program look like? From that one data source, by the way, that data source has no numbers in it if you didn't think about that. Right away, we had kickoff around the corner. I built a half-day workshop for our EBR breakdown, the anatomy of the EBR. What is this data? What does it mean? What's the context for your customers and how they run their business? Second, I set up a long series of continuous learning. I'm in the middle of a world tour, poor me, to all of our global offices to do in-person workshops that focus on the skills side, not just the context and the data, but they focus on the skill side and peer-to-peer learning and feedback. And already from the first couple of workshops, I've found out that the peer-to-peer portion of those in-person live workshops is the most valuable part of those for our CSMs. We also have our managers leading team sessions where the CSMs get to practice all of their chunks of the EBR and get at-bats without being out in the field. And that brings me to the last part. We have a great tool called Luster. It's a predictive enablement tool that does AI role play and prescriptive coaching for reps of any kind. I trained Luster to individually work on these skills with all of our CSMs. So, where are we at? Q1 was build and benchmark. I built the programs, and we used Luster to benchmark the current scorecards for our team based on Gong recordings. And everybody's favorite things, leading and lagging. This is what we're up to now. So we are working on improvements against those benchmarks and ensuring that our CSMs are actually hitting their practice requirements. And then we'll be looking at 3 important things that we as a business know are good signs for our CSM team. Executive participation in EBRs. We can track this using Gong. We know that if executives are showing up to these calls, they're valuable to our customers. And of course, instead of those escalations and churn risks that we were seeing before, we want to see retention rates and expansion go up. And like I said at the beginning, this is not just a Gong story. You can do this on Monday, unless you get laid off via text message tomorrow, no matter what your tech stack looks like. If you've got the whole shebang, great. If you're somewhere in the middle, maybe you have an AI coaching tool like MindTickle or a Lego or something like that, you can still do this. And even if all you have is Google Meet and Claude, you can still do this. So I'm gonna pop that QR code back up, grab the Notion page, and get building. Thank you.